All right, this is Tucker Carlson. This is why I really dislike the lack of leadership in the Republican Party. They're as responsible for this mess that the Dems have pushed through as are the Democrats in one way. They didn't stand up to the Democrats and stop this foolishness. Here goes Tucker.
They went down in the polls. Only buffoons do that in politics. These people couldn't organize your kid's birthday party. They didn't make their beds this morning. And yet suddenly, out of nowhere, they roared back and took over the country. They did it in less time than it takes most people to go on spring vacation. What happened? How'd they do that? Well, it's simple. Nobody stopped them. There was no opposition to their power grab. The other side surrendered on day one without a fight.
That's why the Republicans are at fault on this. And mark my words, people should be fed up with both parties a great deal. More so on the Dems than on the Republicans, but where's our Republican leadership to stop this? Maybe they thought they couldn't. Anyhow, the Republicans have always lacked spine, and this shows. Most unfortunate.
The rest of us watched all of this with our jaws hanging open in shock. It was the opposite of what we expected. Millions of people regularly vote for the Republican Party precisely because they would like someone to protect this country from the crazed ideologues who seek to destroy it. There are many of them. We're watching them on television now. There's not really another reason to vote Republican, unless you happen to be one of those rare people who wants more pointless foreign wars and enjoys sucking up to banks. Most people don't. You vote for Republicans to protect you from this. But when the moment of crisis came, Republicans ran away. Major American cities were looted and burned on television. Citizens were beaten and murdered. Works of public art were destroyed by the score. America's history, those shared experiences that bind us together as a nation, was plundered and completely rewritten by illiterate vandals. Everywhere as they watched, Americans were afraid. Afraid not simply for their safety, but afraid for their jobs, their reputations, afraid for their families. Many Americans were fired abruptly in the middle of a severe recession, doomed to ruin for nothing. For saying the wrong thing, looking the wrong way, liking the wrong tweet. That happened. It's happening now. Some of the accused were so terrified they denounced their own families, wife, brother, daughter. In the end, they were destroyed anyway, because that's what happens in purges. You're destroyed anyway. Most Americans assume they would never live to see a moment like this, but they have. It's still going on. And the question that hangs in the air is, where are our protectors? At the height of the riots, the president of the Heritage Foundation, that's the nation's single largest conservative think tank, it has consumed billions of donor dollars. The president of Heritage wrote an op-ed accusing America of being irredeemably racist. Her name is Kay Cole James. You probably have sent her money. As America burned, Kay Cole James, president of the Heritage Foundation, piled on. And she wasn't alone in that. So many on the right did exactly the same thing. Meanwhile, they did nothing. They didn't lift a finger to help the people they had promised, they had pledged to protect, their voters and their donors. Instead, they did everything possible to accommodate the demands of the people tormenting them, the rioters, and the people who backed the rioters. Congressional Republicans decided to make reining in law enforcement their top legislative priority. They blamed the cops. They didn't blame the rioters, they blamed the cops. Then Republicans bragged about springing more criminals from jail, the last thing we needed. In the state of Iowa, the Republican governor announced that she was giving felons the vote by executive order, not even waiting for the election, just doing it, signing it. Meanwhile, almost everywhere, ordinary Americans came under attack for the color of their skin. Acts of actual racism were...
Well, I'm going to end it here because it's sickening. We're in serious trouble. I see no end in sight on these things. Unfortunately, we're running out on time to fix things. I think it's just going to escalate and get much worse. And people that have Pollyanna thinking, people that just want to see the positive side of everything, think that this is over with or doomed. I think the challenge is to really wake up, and I think some Americans are rising up, but without political support. The only person, Trump and some of his other people are fighting desperately, but is standing alone in their own Republican side, too much alone. Now, some Republicans have supported and helped Trump, but too many rhinos and other people have caved in to the Democrats again and again and again. It's sickening, but this is the political world we live in, and it's very, very unfortunate. I'm going to leave it here because it's not positive. What I absolutely know is that the day will come when this whole mess will be cleaned up by a God, Jesus Christ. And he will consume the wicked. He will ban and control Satan and his angels. He'll bind them and control them, put them out of order, and they will usher in a new era of peace that the world has never seen. We'll finally have some rest, and those that are left will have a desire to serve and work with Jesus Christ, both politically and religiously. That will be a wonderful day. The sooner that comes, the better, but I'm afraid it will not be as soon as many of us wish. Good day. Keep the faith and realize that this battle is not going to be over anytime soon. Good day.